Hello.
How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Hi, Sarah.
Hello. Gonna
First
keep
ones to the party.
always. Well, geez, after my fiasco earlier, I didn't want to risk it.
Yeah, Teams is a different animal. I don't know. People who use it a lot, I think, love it.
Well, and I talked to a couple of friends of ours that are program managers for Microsoft, and they said that Teams has been really glitchy. So, and there was another person that was supposed to be on the same panel that could not get on. So it left the one girl left to do it. Oh, I was stressing so bad.
Okay, so I see more people joining. Let me just think that we have 6.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. So my name is Annabelle. I'm the facilitator for this session. I'll actually just do a roll call. If you are here, just say yes. First is Pitzer College.
Here.
Let's see. Pomona College.
Here.
St. Mary's College of California.
Here.
San Diego State University.
Here.
Santa Clara University. And Soka University of America. Okay, two institutions. Okay. Well, as we wait for the other vendors, I actually just want to go ahead and go over some information with you all in regards to kind of how this session will be, how we'll move forward with the session. So just a couple reminders. We will start broadcasting the session right at the top of the hour. This session goes for 45 minutes. Each institution will have 6 minutes to present. The timing is key, so please be considerate of your colleagues' time and watch your time as well. If you want to set up a timer on the phone, on your phone, feel free to do so. I will also keep a timer, and with about 20 seconds left to go, I'll come back on video, so you'll see me, and that will be a cue to have you wrap up any of your final comments. At the 6-minute mark, I will share the schedule with this screen, and I will then go ahead and introduce the next college. So I'll kind of be moving things along. I'll begin with an opening slide and a few housekeeping and announcements, and then I'll stop sharing my screen, turn off my video, and hand it over to the first institution. So the roll call that I did is in which the institutions will be presenting. So it will be Pitzer College, Pomona, St. Mary's College of California, San Diego State University, Santa Clara University, and then Soka University of America. So that is the order in which you all will be presenting. Just some items to make sure you keep in mind or keep an eye on the Q&A. So if you don't have the Q&A button open now, please do so. Click on the Q&A. Questions can come in at any time for any institution. So questions may not just come in while you're speaking. They may come in a little bit later or before. So just keep an eye on that. We will be recording the presentation and make it available for anyone who couldn't attend or would like to watch it later. So just also a reminder to mute yourself and turn off your video when you're not actively presenting, just to make sure that we don't distract the other presenter. And then as you're answering questions in the Q&A, we recommend that you not push the answer live button. Right now you can't see that button because there's no questions generated. But if you click the answer live button, that actually broadcasts the person's full name and their question to the entire audience. So instead, what we ask is that you type your answer and then click the send private checkbox that you will see once questions are generated. One thing to note is that if a student asks a question and it's not specific to one college, and a college then answers it, a different school can still answer the question for their institution as well. So if it's more of a general question, kind of open to all institutions, you can go back to the answered areas and answer the information pertaining to your institution as well. If it's generated to just one institution, we just ask that out of the spirit of collegiality, that you just allow that institution to answer the question that was directed to them. So will all of you be sharing slides for the presentation? I'm assuming? Yes.
Yes.
And the reason I asked is just make sure that you have the PowerPoint up or presentation up and ready to go. When the previous institution is done presenting, as I mentioned, I'll pull up the schedule, and that gives you enough time. I'll then stop sharing my screen. You can go ahead and take over and start setting up your presentation, and I'll just give you like a couple seconds to kind of, get that ready before you start. So. Any questions that you may have?
I just want to ask a question of Natalia, because we are kind of like sister
pretty
schools here. Is there anything specific you're going to say about the consortium? Do you want to?
No, I was just going to basically cover that we're each like unique, but I figured with 6 minutes, I wasn't going to have enough time to go into all of them.
Gotcha. Just checking. Cool. Thank you.
Okay, and I just want to make sure that Santa Clara University, are you present?
Yes, I am.
Lorenzo. That's you, Lorenzo, correct? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then I do see Soka University. Chelsea. Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. We are all here. Okay, so we have a couple minutes. Wow, I went through that pretty fast. Yeah, we just have a couple minutes to have my slide ready. And after, like once everybody's done presenting, if there's questions still in the Q&A, I will, I'll just actually keep a watch on how many questions are coming through. And if I see that you all are, just typing away and trying to answer the questions, I'll also try to help answer as many questions as possible by actually saying them out loud, like for example, who has physics, if there's a question that comes with that, and you all can just do like a show of hands just to provide a visual and try to get some of those questions, wrapped up for you. If there aren't any questions, then I'll actually ask the question, and it's more of maybe it's just a general, like what is something special or like your favorite part about the institution, whether it's like a really cool event or something special about the community. An institution was talking about, the grilled cheese, when you go there, you have to eat the grilled cheese, or, something special that is unique that maybe you didn't touch on, in your presentation. So it just gives you a couple more, seconds to, share something additional. So just want to at least, give you a heads up on that. Okay, we have 1 minute. Let's see. And I just want to let Santa Clara and Soka know that you two are the last institutions to present. So Santa Clara will go before Soka, and Santa Clara are after San Diego State University.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I know this. Okay, so it's about 8 o'clock. Well, on my side. So it's top of the hour now. So I'll just go ahead and hit broadcast, and when I do, then everything will be going live. So. Welcome to the Colorado Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of the many different sessions happening, so be sure to sign up for any additional session. The presentation is being recorded and will be available within a week at the same website where you registered. So now I'd like to turn it over to our first presenter, Pitzer College.
Perfect, thank you. And I'm gonna go ahead and start my screen share so I can tell you a little bit about who I am and about Pitzer. So hi everyone, my name is Natalia Duran. I am an admission counselor for Pitzer College. I'm the admission representative for the entire state of Colorado. Good to meet you. I am an alumni from Pitzer from the class of 2019. So feel free to ask any questions in the Q&A session and I'll get to them after my presentation. But to start off, let's go ahead and give you just a little idea on who Pitzer is. So we are a member of the Claremont Colleges. We are actually the youngest member of the Claremont Colleges. So we were built in 1963. And the idea with the Claremont Colleges is that every school pretty much is a representation of the decade they were created in. So with Pitzer being born in the 1960s, that was a decade of kind of civil unrest, a lot of different social movements happening during that time. And so for that reason, Pitzer has 5 core values that are really a representation of a different social movement that happened during that decade. So whether it's the civil rights movement, the environmental movement, the farm worker movement in California, all these different things that led to our 5 core values and their creation on Pitzer's campus. So to give you an idea, I'm going to quickly cover those 5 core values so you get an idea for how Pitzer differentiates itself from the rest of the Claremont Colleges. But they are environmental sustainability, intercultural understanding, interdisciplinary learning, social responsibility, and student engagement. So those 5 core values, I'm going to start off with environmental sustainability because Pitzer does not look like the rest of the Claremont Colleges. If my Zoom background gives you any idea, or these photos that you're going to see in this presentation, if that gives you any idea, Pitzer does not look like most other colleges. We are actually covered in about 75% native and drought tolerant resistant plants, which is really cool. We look like what coastal sagebrush actually does here in Southern California. And so the biggest thing about environmental sustainability is that it's mostly student-led efforts on our campus. So that ranges in everything from the Robert Redford Conservancy for Southern California Sustainability, a world-renowned zero net energy certified building on our campus with a fellowship attached, to the fact that Pitzer was the first school on the West Coast to divest all of our money from fossil fuels, which is really cool. So that's just kind of to give you an idea when we say environmental sustainability on Pitzer's campus. It is a student-led initiative. It's our students that are actually making these efforts and making sure that Pitzer students are living and breathing our core values. Now, in regards to our second core value of intercultural understanding, that looks very different happen on Pitzer's campus, the biggest one is obviously studying abroad. That's not happening this fall, but in a normal year, you would see about 53% of Pitzer students studying abroad at some point. I say some point because you can study abroad up to 3 times. So that amounts to pretty much about a year and a half you can spend off of our campus with our 60 different programs. So you have all of those at your fingertips. And that's kind of one big thing that you will see for intercultural understanding. It's the opportunity for students to really get out there, have the opportunity to stay with host families in our direct run programs on any of those different ones. So those direct run programs, they range in everything from Brazil, Nepal, Costa Rica, Ecuador, Italy, Southern Africa, all these different programs. So that's something that you will see. And of course, there is a lot of intercultural understanding on our campus. We have affinity groups where students actually collaborate and promote intercultural understanding amongst each other and amongst all the different groups. So that ranges in everything from Latinx Student Union, Black Student Union, South Asian Student Alliance to Pitzer International Students. There are about 13 different groups on our campus that all promote inclusivity and acceptance amongst each other. So it's kind of one thing to know. As far as our third core value of interdisciplinary learning, that is a big one on our campus. Pitzer, actually, the way that we show it is through the fact that we don't have departments. We actually have what are called field groups. So our field groups are the opportunity for our professors to collaborate amongst each other and actually teach classes with professors that probably you wouldn't expect them to be collaborating with because they're not in the exact same field group or the exact same subject. So to give you an idea, some of our classes, we had an environmental toxicology class that actually had a Keck science professor of chemistry, a neuroscience professor, and an environmental analysis professor all teaching together. So that's the amazing thing about it. You have 40 different majors at your fingertips on Pitzer's campus, but we are a unique school within the consortium where we actually allow you to major off of our campus as well. So if those different majors and our field groups aren't for you, that's completely fine, but maybe you really love our core values and really want to make sure that you're living and breathing those. Come to Pitzer, we'll give you the opportunity to be flexible with your academics and actually take majors from the other sister schools, which include Pomona, Claremont McKenna, Scripps, and Harvey Mudd. So any of those other schools, that's an opportunity for you. There's also double majoring, combined majoring, minoring, and self-designing majors. So that's an opportunity for you. If you're interested in any of those, that's an opportunity to kind of really tailor Pitzer's academic experience to what you need and what you feel. So that's one thing to think about. As far as our fourth core value, I do want to talk about social responsibility because that is a part of our graduation requirements at Pitzer. So Pitzer students are extremely involved on our campus, and the biggest thing to note is that it's actually a part of our graduation requirements. So when it comes to social responsibility, Pitzer students do over 100,000 hours of community service every single year. It's an opportunity for you to really get involved and make sure that you're seeing the rest of the Southern California community and not just staying on Pitzer's campus all 4 years. So whether you're interested in things like immigration reform, the school to prison pipeline, or reproductive rights, anything like that, Pitzer is known for, and you're going to have the opportunity to really actually get involved off of Pitzer's campus. So that's our fourth core value. And our last core value to quickly go over is actually student engagement. That is the easiest one for most people to understand. It's however you choose to get involved at the consortium level. Because Pitzer students, obviously we are one school within a school of 7. So 5 undergraduates, 2 graduate institutes. Whether you want to be involved in athletics, we partner with Pomona, who will be presenting in a second, for our NCAA Division III athletics team. So you have that opportunity, our 250 different clubs that are at your fingertips, any of our career services opportunities, because you have the opportunity to actually collaborate amongst the different schools. So that's kind of one thing to note. But those are our 5 core values to really give you an idea there. And the last thing I just want to mention, Pitzer is a common application school. So in order to apply, you would actually apply through the Common App. And that's your biggest thing to note from there. But that is Pitzer in a very quick nutshell. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A and I can go ahead and get to them.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Our next institution is Pomona College. And just a reminder, please feel free to go ahead and drop any of your questions in the Q&A, and any of the representatives are able to answer any questions. So, Pomona College.
Awesome. So let me start my little timer here. But thank you, Annabelle, and I'm so happy to be here. My name is Katrina Bruno, and I am an Assistant Dean of Admissions at Pomona College, which, if my colleague Natalia said they were the youngest school, Pitzer being the youngest school, Pomona would be the older brother or sister, I guess you can say, because it is the oldest institution in the Claremont colleges. So as you can see here, Pomona this beautiful black backdrop. We are located in Claremont, California, which is about 35 miles east of downtown Los Angeles. A little bit of stuff here just about where we're located, because when people really ask us, like, what makes Pomona different than a lot of other liberal arts colleges across the country, we really do kind of lean on our location and the special opportunities that come with being in Southern California, and also, of course, being part of the Claremont colleges. So you'll see here, Claremont is known as the city of trees and PhDs. That's because within the town itself, there are over 35,000 trees. So if you are into that kind of stuff, nature and trees and beautiful kind of landscapes in small college towns, it really does have that feel. But being at Pomona or within the Claremont colleges specifically is a totally different experience, right? So as you can see here, and as Natalia mentioned, there are 5 undergraduate colleges that are part of the Claremont colleges. This is how we're all situated. So if you cannot imagine what it looks like, this is a representative of a 1-mile radius. So you can walk from Pomona to our friends at Pitzer, to our friends at Harvey Mudd, within about 20 minutes or so. It's one of the first intentionally founded consortiums across the country. So it definitely has a very different kind of experience and vibe that you can take advantage of being part of Pomona or being part of the Claremont colleges. So Pomona itself, we are, again, we were founded in the late 1800s. We are the first and the largest of the Claremont colleges. We have about 1,700 students on our campus, which really, in terms of like academics, in terms of all the things that make being at a smaller liberal arts institution great, you know, small class sizes, having access to faculty members, all those things that make small good, we have that. But we also have the community of the Claremont colleges again. So there's about 7,000 students who are within the 5 C's. So I tend to call it the best of both worlds, right? You've got your smaller academic community, but then you also have your larger kind of social community or community at large when it comes to being in Claremont. The student experience is really special at Pomona because we are almost completely residential. So what that means is that you are going to be living and learning within the community of your peers and with your faculty for all 4 years. So as you can see, 94% of our students live on campus, and housing and all that kind of jazz is guaranteed for all 4 years. So we do have programs that are innately kind of built into the experience called sponsor groups, which I'm happy to answer more questions of if I had more time. But sponsor groups are also a very big part of the experience here. We talked a little bit about the small class sizes, but we have 48 majors on our campus that spread across the social sciences, natural sciences, the humanities, the arts, and we also have some really cool interdisciplinary majors that are offered. And so if you want to be in that kind of academic space where you, again, can connect closely with your faculty, with your professors, this is the kind of institution where you can do so. Internships and research and study abroad are also really great opportunities. You're going to hear me say more than half a lot of times because more than half of our students tend to do all these things, right? So for study abroad, we have more than 60 programs in over 30 countries all across the world. The cool thing about our study abroad is that if you are interested in going abroad and you are on financial aid, your financial aid will follow you. If you are just paying tuition normally as a student, you don't have to pay any additional tuition to go abroad. So more than half of our students will go abroad for at least a semester, but some will even go for a year all over the world. They'll do internships, they'll do research. In terms of research itself, we have multiple programs on our campus that really allow stipends and opportunities for students to take on research throughout their summertime. So summer undergraduate research project or grant, also called SERP, is an opportunity for students to take their whole summer, get some stipends, go do their research. We also have internship programs available where you can request funding or stipends to do a you can receive funding if you want to take on a low paying or no paying internship in the Los Angeles area. So there's definitely a ton of different things that people are doing on our campus as well. And I think one of the coolest things about our support at the institution is that we have so many resources available, especially through our career development office, who helps connect our students after graduation with so many awesome opportunities, whether it is, connecting them to employers who are looking for Pomona students or connecting them to internships. But if you are looking to do something kind of post-grad, so, go to med school, go to law school, go to business school, more than 80% of our students within 10 years of graduation will have received or pursued a higher degree. So there's definitely tons of support built into the college. And again, the Claremont Colleges is there's a lot of information. So if you have any questions, feel free to let us know. Thank you. And I'm done.
Great. Yes, our next institution that will be joining us here, just wanted to let everybody know that, we do have the Q&A. So if a college was not able to get or provide information about the admissions process, please, you go ahead and ask all these institutions about their admissions process. Any questions that they're not able to convey the information during the presentation, please feel free to ask. So now we will pass it on to St. Mary's College of California.
Great. Thank you so much, Annabelle, Katrina. Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Stuns, and I'm here today to talk with you about St. Mary's, and I'm the representative for the state of Colorado. So St. Mary's College, we are certainly a smaller school in size, as you can see. We are located in the town of Moraga, which is a small suburb outside of San Francisco Bay Area, really close to towns and areas like Berkeley, Oakland, Walnut Creek. We are religiously affiliated with the Catholic Lasallian Church. With that said, about half of our students identify as Catholic. The other half could be of a different religion, non-religious, or still exploring. Next, we are a liberal arts school. However, we still do have a sciences kind of focus. The sciences are very popular to major in, as well as our School of Business, with an average class size of about 19 students in a classroom. And lastly, we are affiliated with the consortium of colleges called the Colleges That Change Lives. There's an acronym called CTCL. The reason why we're on this list we'll get to later, but it's for our collegiate seminar program and our January term program. On campus, we guarantee on-campus housing for 2 years, which makes it a very residential campus. We have so many student-run clubs, of course. One really unique aspect about our school is that we are a D1 NCAA school. And I think when I was in high school thinking about the colleges I wanted to go to, I thought that I had to go to a school that had 20,000, 30,000 students in order to have that big college sporting experience, but that's just really not the case. And we're really glad to have a big sports emphasis. If sports aren't your thing, we also have a lot of community service opportunities as well. You might be wondering how St. Mary's is coping in the time of COVID. We actually have 400 students living on campus right now. If students are living on campus, they are able to take classes in person in an outdoor classroom setting. As you can see, our students are socially distanced, wearing their masks. If a student is not living on campus, then all of our classes are online. So January term and collegiate seminar are the two reasons why we are considered one of the colleges that changes lives. Seminar is based on the Socratic seminar style. So many high schoolers have had maybe 1 or 2 chances to take Socratic seminar in English or history. Basically, it's a really discussion-based class where half of your grade is based off of your ability to contribute to the conversation, and the other half is your ability to write about it. As you can see, people are sitting in a circle. That looks really different than the normal learning setting, right? So seminar, you talk about the Great Books program. When I first heard of the Great Books, I thought it was like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. None of those books are in the Great Books. There are other great writers and thinkers like Plato, Aristotle, Galileo, and Homer. So seminar is taken 4 times by every student, no matter what you major in, once per academic year. Similarly, January term is taken by every student once per academic year in the month of January, as you may guess. We are on the 4-1-4 system, which means a student will take about 4 classes in the fall, 1 class for the entire month of January, and then 4 classes in the spring. January term is really a focus on taking a class completely unrelated to what you're majoring in. If you're majoring in biology, take a class in dog psychology. Learn about what dogs think about. I think we all wonder it. If you are majoring in theater, take a class on the Battle of the Beverage Titans, all the different levels of caffeine in coffee, tea, energy drinks, soda. So you can tell these are really elective-based classes, and the goal is to have students fall back in love with why they came to school, and that's to learn and to enjoy the process. So January term is taken 4 times. Not only do we have on-campus exploration opportunities, but we also take students on domestic and international trips. Plenty of videos on our YouTube channel if you're interested to learn more. The admissions process, we are on the common application. You'll see kind of the general application requirements to the left there. And on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see scholarships and financial aid. I always say for any small private school, the sticker price of the tuition that you see on their website is usually not reflective of what students are actually paying to go to that school. A lot of these small private schools have a lot of additional scholarship to give out. As you'll see, over 90% of our students receive financial aid, and the merit-based scholarships were awarded between $7,000 and $30,000 on an annual basis. So please keep that in mind, and please reach out if you have any questions about that. Here's my contact information on this last slide, but earlier I was talking about the colleges that change lives. CTCL group of about 40 colleges, and it was a book that was written by this man named Lauren Pope, and he was a newspaper journalist for the New York Times, and he wrote about big schools, Ivy Leagues, small private liberal arts schools. And one summer, he was on a cross-country road trip with his son, and as they were going along, they came across these 40 colleges that really stood out and really seemed to have a transformational education. St. Mary's is the only Catholic school on this list, the only California school on this list, and the only school with an NCAA Division I sports presence. Pretty cool distinctions. There's a handful on the West Coast. Many of them are in the Midwest or the East Coast, but please check out the colleges that change lives. It's a phenomenal group of colleges if you haven't already found them. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and pass it along to San Diego State. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you. And at this time, San Diego State, again, just a reminder, the Q&A is open. Feel free to drop any questions you may have at any time to any of the representatives, any of our panelists today. So without further ado, San Diego State University.
Good evening, everybody. Hello, my name is Brian Zahn. I'm the Regional Admissions and Recruitment Manager at San Diego State University. I'm based in Castle Rock, Colorado, and I really appreciate you joining me this evening to learn a little bit more about SDSU. We're a member of the 23-school California State University system. SDSU is the southernmost campus in the CSU system and one of the highest ranked. Home to almost 30,000 undergraduate students, SDSU is a Forbes Best Value College, ranked 35th for ethnic diversity, number 8 nationally for graduation rate performance, has almost 100 undergraduate academic programs, NCAA Division I sports, and over 600 study abroad programs in 70 different countries. SDSU won't claim to be perfect, but we are working to be the best school for all students. But tonight, I really just want to focus on a few key highlights about SDSU, our beautiful campus location, the rigorous academic programs, the active student life in campus, and our diverse and inclusive community. Located in San Diego, California, SDSU offers a beautiful and dynamic campus location. Nicknamed America's finest city, San Diego is the second largest city in California and has near perfect weather year-round. There are beaches to the west, mountains to the east, Los Angeles to the north, Mexico to the south, and all types of sites and neighborhoods to explore in between. As a college student in San Diego, the direct benefits are numerous. Entertainment opportunities, educational exploration, athletic and recreational possibilities, cultural and civic engagement. If there is something you want to do, explore, see, or experience, there's a good chance it'll be available in San Diego. Some of the unique campus resources at SDSU include the Mount Laguna Observatory, the Lavin Entrepreneurship Center, the Santa Margarita Ecological Reserve Field Station, the Coastal Marine Institute Labs, the Center for Clinical and Cognitive Neuroscience, and the Zahn Innovation Platform Launchpad. Within just 30 miles or less of campus, you have downtown, Balboa Park and the San Diego Zoo, Coronado Beach, Mission Bay Park and SeaWorld, hundreds of miles of hiking, biking, and equestrian trails. And if you wish to venture farther away, you'll find national parks and ski resorts just like back home in Colorado. Now, the purpose of attending SDSU, of course, is to earn your degree. With close to 100 majors organized into 7 different colleges, there's something for just about everybody. The Fowler College of Business has many highly rated majors, including finance, real estate, and marketing. The College of Engineering offers 8 Abbott accredited programs, including 2 of our fastest growing majors in mechanical engineering and electrical and computer engineering. Aspiring teachers will find a welcome home in the College of Education, and the College of Health and Human Services includes our direct entry nursing program, one of the top programs in the country. Many of the students in the College of Professional Studies and Fine Arts pursue degrees in criminal justice and hospitality and tourism management. The College of Sciences offers our most popular major, which is psychology. And finally, the College of Arts and Letters has a wide variety of majors in areas such as foreign languages, sociology, sustainability, economics, and philosophy. Now, earning your degree obviously is key, but also having some fun is important too. So whether you want to play a sport, join one of the more than 300 clubs and organizations, lead a community service project, write for the student newspaper, or work on the campus radio station, you'll find endless opportunities to stay active and engage with campus. At San Diego State, living on campus is more than just residence halls and roommates. We want it to feel like home. Depending on your interest or major, there are residential learning communities for just about everything. Discover San Diego is a great way to make friends and explore your new home. Future education professionals, journey into entrepreneurship, the Weber Honors Residential College, and Women in Science and Engineering are just some of the other options. And as an out-of-state student, you are required to live on campus for your first 2 years. So why not get involved or join a residential learning community with students who share similar interests, academic goals, or career aspirations? The advantages to living on campus are numerous. Research indicates that students that live on campus have higher GPAs, report a better college experience, and graduate in a timely fashion. The active student life and residential opportunities make it easy to meet new friends, build relationships, and grow your professional and personal networks. Now, as I mentioned at the top, SDSU has been recognized for its campus diversity and inclusion. It truly is a model for what dedicated public universities can do by creating inclusive academic environments that marry student success with access, diversity with innovation, and leadership with transformational change. SDSU is home to 8 cultural centers with a mission to support student success through a framework that addresses equity, justice, and inclusion. Since 2012, SDSU has been designated a Hispanic serving institution. We've been awarded the Higher Education Excellence and Diversity HEAT Award multiple times, and this award is the only national recognition honoring colleges and universities that exhibit outstanding commitment to diversity and inclusion across their campuses. Campus Pride also ranked us number 12th best college in the country for LGBTQ students, and we're also recognized as one of the top institutions in the nation for military families and veterans. Now, building a campus community is more than just rankings, numbers, and data, so it's important to join one of our virtual student panels, attend a prospective student event, or engage with alumni in your local area. So if you're ready to join the San Diego State community, what do you need to know for your application and admission process? Students apply at calstate.edu/apply. Evaluation of students is based on GPA, required A through G course completion, and intended major. SDSU is test blind for fall 2021 applicants, and the application is available October 1 through December 4th. Decisions are sent out by March, and you have until May 1 to submit your intent to enroll. Thank you for your time. I hope you consider joining the SDSU Aztec family. Good luck with your college search, and please reach out to me if you have any questions. Be well, be safe. Thank you for your time, and have a nice evening.
Thank you so much. The next institution is Santa Clara University. Again, I see there's several questions that are coming in. Please continue to ask the presenters any questions that you may have. They are here to answer your questions.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Lorenzo Gamboa. I'm the Senior Associate Director of Undergraduate Admissions at Santa Clara University. Also a Colorado native, so it's awesome to be back virtually with you guys for right now. But I get the opportunity to tell you guys a little bit about this campus, which I am an alumnus of. So beware, I am very, very biased with the info. But Santa Clara, the really nice part is coming out from Colorado, you get to see palm trees, green grass, 75-degree weather, and 0 humidity. The crazy part is they like putting Christmas lights on palm trees here though. So you got to get used to that. But it is the oldest university in the state of California. Been founded since 1851. So it means we got a lot of alumni everywhere and all over the world. The cool thing here is that we are right next to the city of San Jose, which is the 10th largest metropolitan city in the country. So access to anything and everything, like my colleague Brian mentioned, is available to you, from outdoors to indoors to anything you want to be entertained with, accessible at your fingertips. 55% of our student body comes from out of state, 45% from in-state. The only state not represented, North Dakota. So if you know anybody for some reason there, get them to apply. I need that 50th state. The best thing though is that your neighbor, Google, Yahoo, Lockheed, eBay, NASA, Ernst & Young, KPMG, Pricewaterhouse, Deloitte, Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Tesla, Electronic Arts, you name it, we got it. The benefit is we got more job offers, more internship offers than actually current students enrolled on this campus. What makes us different? We are part of a Catholic Jesuit institution. So part of a system known as Jesuit schools. The biggest difference is we like to say that we want to educate you on mind, body, and spirit, making sure that you understand what your gifts are and how you're going to contribute. So you will be doing, yes, your math, your science, your English, all that stuff, but you'll also be asked to take a course in ethics, technology, and 3 courses in religion before you graduate. Now, the biggest thing is high school classes versus college classes, very different. It's not indoctrination, it's exploration. 50% of the student body says they're Catholic, 50% says they're from any other denomination, with the exception of finals week, when they all start praying because they want to pass that class. But other than that, pretty open campus. We like to say that we will give you competence, conscience, and compassion. But as alums, we like to also say we'll give you community as well, because you're going to be a Bronco for the rest of your life. Here's just some pictures just for you guys to see. But the other big thing is the class experience. Santa Clara is not a big school. 5,500 undergrads, 3,000 grads, puts us just a little bit shy under 10,000. So not big, but not small. Nice thing is we're trying to grow. We want to be 6,000 by 2025. So nice for you. But the other big thing is intimate settings. So 11:1 faculty ratios with great graduation rates, able to graduate in time. The biggest issue why I'm not over 90% is my business, my engineer students mess it up. They can add on 1 more year and they can get their master's and bachelor's at Santa Clara in 5, which is a nice combination for them. So keep messing up my numbers. Other than that though, you get to see class experiences. This is kind of our average here. So nothing big, but again, you will get to meet your faculty and your individuals on this campus. Don't forget, just because we're in the Bay, you don't need to just be studying business or engineering. In fact, we were founded as a liberal arts institution. So looking at art, physics, theology, classics, we do all that stuff at remarkable opportunities for students. But if you're that handy individual who wants to be involved, we can give you those opportunities to get hands-on experience from day one in the makers labs or whatever it is you desire. And don't forget, take yourself and challenge yourself. One of the classes that I always encourage students to consider is Intro to Theater, because this way it'll give you guys the skills that the Valley is really looking for. Being able to capture an audience, be able to talk in front of public, being able to control yourself when things don't go your way. All of these are added benefits to your degree at Santa Clara. We are 20 Division I sports, 19 club sports, and over 150 clubs and organizations at Santa Clara University. Everybody always asks me, what kind of student do I want? Well, I want students who are, yes, bookworms, but also flexible enough to paint your face and go get on ESPN every once in a while. So be active. You will have beautiful housing. The downside to this is we love to eat. So you have to get up, you have to be active, because your freshman 15, your freshman 40, they're gonna come. Big traditions, midnight breakfast. We feed you and lock you in the library during finals. So get you guys involved and be involved with the traditions of the Bay Area, because it is literally where the world is going to come and play. Your applications, we are all on the Common App. All you have to tell me is what school you want to begin in, arts and science, business, or engineering. Majors, don't worry about it. You guys can decide that after your first year, second year, and you'll still be able to graduate on time. Most students here will double major, double minor, study abroad, and be able to accomplish all of that in 4 years, which is pretty crazy. The big difference is we're not on the semester system. We are on the quarter system. So please keep that in mind, because when I'm looking at your apps, not only can you muster the average profile, but can you average and convince us that you have what it takes to be able to balance yourself and make sure that you are successful. Santa Clara is test optional, like many institutions right now. So if you've taken it, great. If you haven't taken it, great. Don't worry about it, okay? Focus on your deadlines, which are coming up. November 1st for early decision, early action, January 7th for early decision 2 and regular decision. And don't forget that there are always ways of getting into a university, also by transferring. And all of us love transfers, so feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. Here's my contact info and locations of where you guys can find us. And with that, I'll turn it over to my colleagues at Soka, who will wrap it up for us.
Thank you. I'm very excited to introduce
Go ahead.
Soka. Sorry, here we go. So we are Soka University of America. We are in Orange County, California. We're a small private liberal arts college. This is a little overview of our campus, about 100 acres, surrounded by 3,000 acres of wilderness protected area. And just on the other side is Laguna Beach. In front of us is suburbia. Soka is actually a Japanese word that means to create value. Our full name is, again, Soka University of America because our sister school is Soka University of Japan. We have 450 students, so we're very small by design, very intentional. 40% of our students are international, coming from 30 different countries. So we're the most ethnically diverse liberal arts school in the nation for our population size. We're a fully residential campus all 4 years. So students all have a room, they have a roommate, usually from another country. We really are focused on intercultural exchange on a daily basis. We offer a fully WASC accredited BA in liberal arts degree with 5 concentrations, a study abroad requirement. We have a 7-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So we're really focused on deep relationships that help students get to where they want to be. And our average class size is 12. So we focus on discussion, dialogue-based learning. Soka education as a pedagogy is focused on the happiness of the student learner. We want everyone to enjoy what they're doing in their lives. We compete in NAIA athletics, and we offer a full range of generous financial aid. The mission of Soka University of America is to foster a steady stream of global citizens committed to living a contributive life. This is why we want students to come to our school if they gravitate towards our mission. We're non-sectarian, so we don't teach any specific religious classes, but we're founded on the Buddhist principles of peace, human rights, and the sanctity of life. Our founder, Daisaku Ikeda, is the leader of the largest lay Buddhist organization, and he is still alive in Japan. Our general education focuses on Eastern and Western philosophies. You can see from the map, this is in the middle of campus. We don't look at the traditional lens of, European, Eurocentric ideals. You can see from the green, it's the lotus representation of a flower that envelops the world in peace. We're really, again, focused on those principles. We offer 5 concentrations within our BA of Liberal Arts: Environmental Studies, Humanities, International Studies, Life Sciences, and Social Behavioral Sciences. All of our students come in undeclared, and then they'll decide which concentration to do at the end of their 2nd year. We are known for our language and culture program. All of our students have to take a non-native language of Chinese, French, Japanese, or Spanish. And then in the 3rd year, we have a required study abroad. We were one of the first colleges that required that for all of our students. It's entirely built into tuition. And so that way there's no external cost. It's, again, really focused on helping our students become global citizens through lived experience. We also have a learning cluster program, kind of like winter term during our winter block. During this time, 12 students propose a research question, find a faculty sponsor, and then we'll create their learning cluster. There are 4 fully funded travel grants for these groups. Most of them will stay on campus or stay pretty local. You can see past topics. This picture is from the group that went to Sweden and Denmark to study outdoor education and kindergartens. This is a little map of one of our res halls. All of our students have their own room for them and their roommate. There's a private bathroom, fully serviced. We have multi-purpose rooms for clubs and everything like that. Even though we have a full cafeteria where students are on a meal plan, we have the community kitchen where students like to make birthday cakes and things like that. Soka Shuttle, it's entirely free to park on campus. For us, we have more spots than students, but if not, we do have our shuttle service. These are some of the past posters put on by our residential life group. They're really focused on helping students work on issues of diversity and inclusion, as well as life skills and self-authorship. Student life is pretty active at Soka. One of the things that's really great is that all of our clubs are come as you are, come as you want to be and want to learn, if you have an open heart and an open mind. Another cool thing is that our international students are actually really involved with our day-to-day experiences and lives. Our student body, president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer are from 4 different countries, which is pretty unique. We also offer a full orientation program for our first-year students that is entirely student-run. We compete in 5 athletic teams: soccer, cross-country, track and field, swim and diving, and women's golf through the NAIA. but we do take walk-ons. About a quarter of our students participate in athletics just because they want that experience. Our admission process is pretty straightforward. Our early action deadline is November 1st and our regular decision deadline is January 15th. Like most other schools, we are test optional for fall 2021. Our tuition is about $32,000 and our room and board is about $13,000. But we help offset that cost for every family through need-based and merit scholarships. So for any family who's earning under $60,000, Soka will cover the full cost of tuition with the opportunity grant. And for families from higher incomes or significant assets, it's a sliding scale. We offer merit scholarship that's renewed all 4 years based off of your application for admission up to $15,000. We get athletic scholarships. We have a loan program for any of our families who don't qualify for federal loans through either because they're international or undocumented. And last year, 98% of our students received financial aid. 13.9 million was handed out in institutional money for a total of 14.4. Soka is very much committed to helping offset the cost for families. We're a team of 6. My name is Chelsea and I help all the students from Colorado. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those later on. Thank you.
Great, and that concludes all of the presentations. So again, I just want to open it up for Q&A. If you have some additional questions, please feel free to just drop those on the Q&A box, and the representatives are here ready to answer any questions you may have. Really quickly, just kind of take 40 seconds to kind of share what is your favorite part. What's something very special to you about your institution, whether it's a specific place, a specific event that you enjoy, and we can just go right in the same order as you presented. So Pitzer?
Oh, yeah. So I think one of my favorite things, events at Pitzer would probably be, oh my gosh, this is going to sound really bad because, like, you know, quarantine and gaining weight, but definitely pasta bar at Pitzer. So our dining hall, we're just like nationally ranked as one of the best dining halls in the nation. And I kid you not, like everything is made like handmade. So it gets really addicting when you're just like eating pasta like 3 times a week, or, you know, handmade pad thai or whatever. That was my favorite part as a student and still my favorite part as a staff member. So such a bummer that we're not on campus right now, but definitely my favorite part.
And since I'm next, I have to agree that Pitzer food is great, you know, being part of the Claremont colleges. You know, since I was kind of capitalizing, I think we're all from California anyway, being California is super special. And I know I'm originally from Florida, so I didn't realize that there are like mountains and, you know, things like that. So Ski Beach Day is a huge Pomona thing where in the morning, all the students will go skiing when there is snow, actual fallen snow, again, Florida person here. And then at the end of the day, they'll go to the beach and they all go together. It's very much a community driven kind of activity. And it's just really kind of cool to see, you know, all those different kinds of regions and really explore the opportunity of California in ways that you may or may not be familiar with. So Ski Beach Day would be my thing.
Personally, we have something called the First Year Olympics that happens in the first week of moving into the residence halls. And if anyone has ever seen the show Survivor, I think it's very similar, the types of events and puzzles and mind games that they have to do. And they're competing as an entire residence hall. So we have 6 of them. So it's 6 different teams competing, hopefully for the title of the Olympians for the year.
My favorite thing about SDSU, or one of the best events I think that's on campus, is we have a farmer's market every Thursday, although in COVID times, obviously farmer's markets are a no-no, but just a mix of, I mean, a kind of this theme. Obviously, I guess we've all been, you know, cooped up in our houses so long because we're all talking about food, but the different types of food that are available during the farmer's market, whether it's like getting an actual meal or taking some fresh produce with you, but also just the people and the culture. It's just a, you know, I don't know anybody who goes to a farmer's market and is like, oh, that was a bad experience. It's just fun.
Great points. I want to say one favorite tradition that my roommate and I started and still continues is something called the Colorado Native Challenge. You wake up early, really early winter quarter, go ski Lake Tahoe, come back down, have dinner in San Francisco, come back down, have a bonfire in Santa Cruz, and the first person on the team that falls asleep, you baptize them in the Pacific Ocean.
I love it. For us, we have a statue of Gandhi on campus that was given to us by his grandson, and students will dress him up based off of, especially like if it's Independence Day in their country, if it's Malaysian Independence Day or Nepalese Independence Day.
Those are all so very unique and so very interesting. So thank you so much for sharing. I know I also would enjoy all the foodie, aspects. So I know we have one question in the Q&A specific to an institution, so the institution can go ahead and answer that. But while they're doing that, I'll just go ahead and kind of close off our session and share some last minute items with the group. So again, thank you to the panelists for your time and the insightful information you were able to share. Thank you all for joining us today. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We appreciate any feedback you can provide. And also, this was just one of many sessions being hosted, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions. And in about a week, you'll be able to find this session recording as well as any other sessions that you've attended at the same website where you registered. So again, thank you for joining us. Thank you to all of our panelists, and we'll go ahead and sign off. Thank you.
Thanks, Annabelle.